Jeez, Louise, I don't know where to stand. You lose me.
It's the, I don't know what this is. It's the Wallow coins here.
It's 15 whole years of the Prestige Proof sets. Thank you again for being a part of our show tonight. We're thrilled to have you along. We're having a blast. It's the end of a year for Coin Collector. Mike, Prestige Proof sets. There's nothing more visually attractive than this particular packaging, the presentation, and then, of course, the coins that are presented within them.
Now, 82 is what I have.
Is that all?
Not 83, 82.
Okay, it's a strict 82.
And as I go through these, I think you'll begin to understand a lot of what this is about.
Mike, is this is 700 off?
$700 savings.
Okay.
So save a car.
Right.
Okay, not a real good car, but a car. You can get a car, I'm sure, someplace for $700. So save a car. The United States government made coins and has been making coins since the 1700s, of course. And they've done special presentation sets. One of the most famous is the Pan-Pacific set, gold set, and all. They sell for a couple $1 million. When they do special edition sets. The United States government decided to do a kind of a special edition set in 1983. They basically wanted to start making commemorative silver dollars. So what they did is to commemorate the Olympics, the Los Angeles Olympics that were coming up here in '84, they did a special commemorative silver dollar, and this is a silver dollar, okay? And they took it with the regular U.S. proof set, and they put it in this thing. And with a little 1983, and they put a little treasury seal on it here, and it was phenomenally popular. It was so popular, they did it again in 1984. They did the commemorative silver dollar, and then the entire proof set that went with it as well. It was so popular that the United States government kind of gathered themselves, made no sets in 1985, and then in 1986 introduced this set with this beautiful kind of velour covering that you see here. And this was for the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. They included the silver commemorative dollar and the commemorative half dollar with all of the proof coins made by the United States government. They called it the Prestige Proof set that you see right here. And it's done in like a book format, so you can see the front and the back of each and every one of these. They continued this on through 1997. They continued this on through 1997, and then they stopped it as they are just starting to get ready for the American State Quarter program. And because of this, because what happened was this was a very high-end set in its day, through the 80s and 90s. And because of that, they didn't sell a lot of them back then. So the mintages on these are minuscule compared with today's coins. Tens of thousands of these is all that were made in some of these years. The 1996, as a matter of fact, if we go to hsn.com, can we do that? Go to hsn.com, look at 1996 Prestige Proof set. I think we sell it individually. I want to. We'll get to that here in a second. So let's go on. I want to introduce you to all the sets here. So in '86 we had the Statue of Liberty. In 1987 they did the 200th anniversary of the United States Constitution that you're going to have right there. We the People. And then in 1990 we did another commemorative Olympic set. The Olympic sets were very popular with that. 1990. I believe that was Seoul, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go over here. And then I like this one. This is the sesquicentennial of Congress right here, or the bicentennial of Congress, my mistake, right there. And then right down here is the congressional dollar. Now remember, each and every one of these has a proof silver dollar in it. Now we tend to sell proof silver dollars, just the brand new ones, at about $129. These are about $129 a set. Sold out, limited editions in there. Oh, I'd say somewhere around 20, 30, 40, 50 times rarer than the current year proof sets. Here's the Eisenhower set right here. One of my favorite sets right here. I'm going to pull out here the Mount Rushmore set, because you've got Mount Rushmore right here. This is the 75th anniversary of Mount Rushmore, that what you're going to have right there. And then you have the Mount Rushmore half dollar, which is America's only Buffalo half dollar.
Oh,
we've got Buffalo dollars, we've got Buffalo quarters, we've got Buffalo nickels. There is one Buffalo half dollar, and it's in this set that you see right here. I'm going to put that back. And then 1992, I'll come back to this set. This is a unique coin. This coin is technically against the laws of the United States. I'll explain that to you here in just one second, because it is also kind of a special thing. I put in the 1996 because it's silver. The 1976 bicentennial 3-piece silver collection, I'm throwing that in as a bonus. That's about an $80 value there. Then let's go back over here. Then we've got the James Madison in 93, the James Madison $1.50. We've got the World Cup 1994, $1.50. That $1.50 extremely difficult to get. 1995 is the Civil War $1.50. 1996 is the Olympic set, and we're getting those. I'm pretty sure we sell this for $449 by itself. And then last but not least is the Botanic Gardens dollar set that you're going to have. So what you have within this, okay, is 15 commemorative silver dollars.
Right.
So if you just look at the 15 commemorative silver dollars, they're about $129 a piece, okay, which is a pretty spectacular deal.
Sure.
But then if you look at all the commemorative half dollars that come with it, and in addition to that, all of the proof coins that come with this, the coin by coin value of this is going to be in essence well over $2,000, $2,500 or up in there. Now that's why it's going to be at $2,399 as a set value, pretty substantial. At $700 off, it's pretty spiffy. I got 80 of these left. Now, this is what I want to show you. This is the 1992 Olympic set, okay?
Okay.
And here's why this is, like I said, technically against the law. This, folks, is Nolan Ryan. It's called the Nolan Ryan dollar. Now, the government to this day vociferously denies that this is Nolan Ryan.
Strong word, Mike.
Yeah, vociferous, yes, I understand that. They say this is not Nolan Ryan, it's just a commemorative Olympic coin, because it's against the law to put a living American on a coin. Okay?
It is against the law.
It's against the law. So that is the 1992 Prestige Proof set. I want to show you something here. That right there is Nolan Ryan's 1992 baseball card.
Well, that's him.
Actually a 1991 card. Now you look at the the coin, and you look at his uniform. You look at every single. Look at the folds in the uniform. Look at the glove. Look at count the laces. Count. It doesn't. That is that image. Period. That is that image. Period. And that's why this is one of the single most collectible coins in modern American numismatica, because that is the Nolan Ryan, official Nolan Ryan Olympic silver dollar, which is technically, like I said, against the law, which is one of the things that I find fascinating.
Wow,
so once again, what we normally do here, and if you go in this and do coin by coin or set by set, understand each and every one of these has got a proof silver dollar in them. Most of them have got commemorative half dollars, but keep in mind, they have also got all of the proof coins from those years as well. So, for instance, the Kennedy half dollar starting in 1997. Okay, the 1997 Kennedy half dollar, and going back there, just that Kennedy half dollar in there is $39.50. The 96 is $25. The 95 is $46. There are hundreds and hundreds of dollars of Kennedy half dollars in this set. The other proof coins in here are, like I said, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and then you add in the fact that you're going to get all of these commemorative silver dollars, and here's the key, all in their original government packaging that you're going to see. And that is the key. The quantities, the mintages on these are absolutely positively minuscule. They are some of the single most difficult to get modern issue United States government sets by far. I can break this open and sell this coin right here. See this little half dollar?
Yes.
We put that out, I think, $59.95. I had them one time. I think I had 400 coins. We sold them in 10 minutes or something for just this coin at $59.95. This coin right here, I think we sell at $49 or $59. I've sold thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of this coin at that. So these two coins right here, there's $129. This is the easiest set to get of the bunch.
Okay.
Now, once again, if you go to that 1996 Prestige Proof set, like I said, we sell that for, I think, $449 or $499 for just that one set right there. For just that one set. Now, we're already down. We only have 77 of these, and people kind of wait till the end, and I get that. So right here, I just want to show you this. This is the all, and there you go. There's the 19, and there's the reverse of the set and everything else. That's, I think, spectacular. So down to 77 sets. So this is the box that these all come in. So every one of them comes with all of the original government packaging, all right? And then look at the certificate of authenticity. That's from the U.S. Mint. That's
wow.
how big it has to be, because it shows that the silver, you get 15 American silver dollars in here. The silver dollars by themselves at $1,699.95. The silver dollars alone are an amazing opportunity for you to be able to get these. If I have the 2015 Proof American Eagle, okay? The 2015 Proof American Eagle, I think we sell that to you for $149.95.
Okay.
I will sell you 15 sold out limited edition coins, every one of which is between 3 and 20 times rarer, for about $129. Is that what? Yeah, about $120 a set, because you get 15 of them. That's $110 actually. About $110 a piece for these. Now, that does not include the commemorative half dollars, all of the other proof sets, the fact that they're all in their original government packaging, the bonus 1976, the 1976 silver bicentennial proof. I think that's a $60. I'm sorry, that's about a $55 coin right there. $29.95. That's about $85 in terms of bonus there as well. So here's what we've got. We got 5 minutes left here. I've got about 6 dozen sets remaining at $700 off, and I want to reiterate that. So Adam, I mean, let's talk about that for a second. $700 off for our final presentation of the year.
Well, that's got to be the key. I mean, this is maybe not perhaps for everybody, but if you've ever wanted to collect the Prestige Proof sets, then the $700 saving is the attraction. The $700 saving is the reason for it to be today. So you know, what I love is that Mike just broke this down. So when we look at it as a, you know, really on a per coin basis, when you see everything that you're getting, the value is there. So the value we know is there. So if you can offer the value at the lowest price we've ever done it at, then I'm even more tempted to take the plunge and get it. This is something that you're going to keep, that you're going to cherish, that you're going to love to see and enjoy and to really get a hold of, because as Mike said, the coins themselves, the way they're packaged, the way they're presented, everything about it, it's the creme de la creme. So we are at 3.5 minutes. I also want to tell you that this, just like every other coin, has our massive money-back guarantee. I absolutely, as Mike does, want you to have this in your hands when this is delivered to your door. When you open it up, the box, when you look inside, when you see the coins, when you see the packaging, if you don't love it, of course return it. And when you return it, if you return it, there is no restocking fee, there is no penalty, there is no charge. You don't lose any money. So we are strictly limited to the 3 minutes. It's the final show of the year, as we know. We cannot spend a moment more. This is your last chance saloon at getting it. We are doing 69 left. And please understand, it's not that Mike won't work hard to get another 15-year Prestige Proof set into HSN, because of course, because people want this set. People want this set and people will pay for this set. But because you're watching right now, you benefit from the final show pricing. So $2,400, we're down to $1,699. So I'll give the final 2 minutes to Mike. I will tell you though, they are as good and even better than they look on the TV screen. It's a gorgeous set.
Well, and here's the thing: we want to look at what you have. I think you have the coin count there.
I was looking. I don't.
And it's going to be 515. You're going to be right around 100 coins, perhaps a little bit less. So at 100 coins, you're about $16 a coin.
Well, there, done.
I mean, you know, that makes it simple. Most of the non-silver dollars in here can go for as much as $16 a piece. Those Kennedy half dollars down there at 97, 95, 94, 93, 92, 90. All those Kennedy half dollars are $20, $25 a piece to $30 or $35 a piece for just the regular proof Kennedy half dollar. And then you look at the extraordinary rarity of these sets within the sets themselves. So when you look at this, and understand we sell these, sorry about that, guys, as I just walk right through.
We're very enthusiastic.
Yeah, as we walk right to it, because I want to get down here to like the Civil War commemorative. We look, it's the easiest thing in the world for me to do is to either sell these at $2,399, or here's the even easier thing for me to do. take this set and literally break it open. Okay, I sell these coins. I sell this coin all day long at $129.95. I sell this coin all day long at $79.95 for the Civil War commemoratives that you're going to have right there, because they basically only come in here. These are sold out limited editions from 1995, one of the rarest years made by the United States government. And then you look at that, the 1996 set right here. This is one of the rarest modern issue sets. So let's take talk for just a second. The 1995 W American Silver Eagle is a $10,000 set. Okay? They did 31,000 of those sets. This set is every bit as rare as that. It just doesn't happen to be $7,000 to $10,000 because it doesn't have an American Silver Eagle in it. It actually has a commemorative silver dollar that's rarer than that American Silver Eagle. This coin right here is actually rarer than that $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 95 W American Silver Eagle that you're going to have right here. The key to this collection, this coin right here, you can easily, I'll see that out there in the marketplace at $400 to $500 just for that one coin. If you take the full value of this coin right here, this coin set right here, by the way, I was able to find that $5.99 we sell that for. So basically it's selling all the rest of them at $79.95 a piece. It's an amazing opportunity. With everybody on the phone, I have 3 or 4 dozen left is all that we have.
It's all but gone. Stay right there. We'll certainly keep you posted.